Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo put Dick Grayson in the crosshairs as a bounty is placed on his head thanks to his recent philanthropic work. But when Dick proves too hard to get, the bad guys target Nightwing, his dog. Tom Taylor brings us back to Bludhaven after Fear State with his quick, really fun issue that begins to show the consequences of Dick announcing he is going to use the billions he got from Alfred to help Bludhaven and save the people from the various criminal elements of the city. I really love the simplicity of this issue that really reaffirms what the book is all about and resets the tone to the more light-hearted, humorous and heartfelt story that it was before Fear State took over in the tie-ins. I also loved all of the little pieces Tom put in the issue about Bludhaven. We get a little bit of sense of the community there and all the different people that live there, as well as the community even pitching in to help Nightwing pursue the bad guys and help one another out, which is basically the entire ideology of this story, with Dick wanting to give his money to the community to help them soar and not so that he has to catch them. Bruno Redondo again just outdoes himself when it comes to designing creative pages for this book, really culminating here this issue where the entire issue is just basically a single take action sequence. Something we've seen happen in the issue before, but the fact that it's every page and every issue and it can all be stitched together is so damn fun and creative and just the type of stuff I love seeing in comics. Nightwing issue 87 was another fantastic issue in Tom Taylor's series, resetting the tone in the wake of Fear State and returning us to the amazing community-driven storyline with an excellent and creative way to convey the story. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. Nightwing issue 87 finds Dick answer a call from Barbara, who asks where he is. Dick says he's just on his way to a meeting about public housing, as Barbara tells him to get off the streets now, since someone has put a bounty on his head. Dick isn't too worried and knows he's fine since he's got a secret identity and no one knows he's Nightwing, but Barb tells him it's not Nightwing they're after, it's Dick Grayson. A car full of goons arrive, shooting at him in broad daylight as he escapes down the walking bridge, asking Barb how big the price on his head was since they're shooting at him. Barb tells him it was $10 million as he climbs up a fire escape, changing into the Nightwing costume he keeps in his briefcase. He wonders why this is happening, so Barbara reminds him that he publicly announced that he was changing the city and he knew that a lot of Bludhaven would resist that. Dick knows that he did piss off some emotionally stunted men who don't know how to use their words, telling Barb to switch to Oracle mode as he bounces through some window cleaners' work sites, knowing he's got to get home. Oracle says he can't since the people gunning for him know where he lives thanks to him doing his announcement out the front of his home. Dick gets an alert that someone has broken into his house and he knows Haley is there, prompting him to divert back home. Landing on the roof, he fights his way through the loft, taking down the goons as one of them grabs the dog, racing downstairs and bundling it into a van. Nightwing gives chase, telling Oracle that Bitewing has been taken. He knows that he won't lose them, smashing into the van's roof and taking out one of the goons as Oracle says that she'll meet up with him. The goons refuse to stop the van despite Nightwing taking out a bunch of the men inside. Nightwing falls from the van but rights himself as the community come to help him, with a biker offering his motorbike so he can pursue them onto the bridge. Oracle tells Nightwing that the plates on the van came back and the group is wanted by the FBI, with Nightwing knowing that unlike the police, the feds will actually do their job if they catch them. Nightwing wants to help out, really hoping that he was the only one who was targeted since the last thing he wanted was for anyone else to be threatened because they were close to Dick Grayson. He knows that with Alfred's money he can make a real difference, and not just enough to provide short-term essentials for people, but also create a platform for something much more and a bridge to make a better something. He continues to pursue the van across the bridge, but soon wants to fall back so they don't crash and hurt Haley. Oracle thinks that he'll lose them, but luckily Dick put a tracker in the dog's collar so he'll never lose her. Oracle says that she'll meet up with him as later at the warehouse that the van pulled up to, Batgirl meets with Nightwing. Barb says that these people were being investigated for pretty much everything from armed robberies to assassinations. Nightwing asks if she knows who is more dangerous, and Barb knows it's them when someone has taken their precious puppy. The heroes burst into the warehouse, taking down the goons quickly before heading into the main office, where the leader of the gang has a gun to Harley's head. Nightwing finds that cartoonishly evil, throwing his baton at the man who falls back, throwing Harley out of an open window. Nightwing dives out after her, catching his dog and landing safely on the ground. He knows his parents and him used to soar, but then he watched them fall, and since that day he's tried to catch everyone. The cops arrive to arrest the goons and their boss, as Nightwing knows that he can now do more for the city and its people, and more than catch them when they fall, since he can help the city soar.